everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys another late video. So I usually like to do this video in January, usually at the first half of January, but it's already February. What a surprise, I'm late again. But today's video I wanted to share with you guys my favorite books that I read in the year 2019. Now the year 2019 was both a good year for reading and a bad year for reading because I really read some great books in the year 2019, and the books that I'm going to show you guys in this video have become some of my favorite books of all time. However, 2019 was also the year that I slumped really badly. I slumped from August to December, so pretty much 5 months of the year. But again, I still had a pretty great year because these books have become some of my favorite books of all time. I really love them. I wish I could talk to you guys about them all the time. That's how much I love them. So let's go ahead and get started. I do have 3 books to show you guys. I did order them in order from my least favorite to my most favorite. So let's go ahead and get started with number 3 on this list. So coming in at number 3 is actually a whole series. I absolutely love this series, and this series solidified this author as one of my favorite authors of all time because I read another series by this author and I also love that series a lot. And the book that I'm talking about, the series that I'm talking about, is the Scythe series by Neal Shusterman. Scythe is the first book, Thunderhead is the second book, and the third book, which I'm actually currently reading right now, is The Toll. So this series is set in a futuristic world where humanity has conquered death. People no longer die from old age, illness, etc. So in order to curb the human population from getting out of control, humanity has created the Scythedom, which is this group of people who are selected to be scythes, and they go out into the world and they select people to die, basically to permanently die. And I absolutely love this series. I read the Unwind Disology by Neal Shusterman, and I absolutely love that series to death, and I decided to read this book along with my friend Desiree from Librelabra. This is such a great series. I really love it. I like the ethics and morality in some of the things in the story, and I just genuinely love it. This book I gave 5 stars. Thunderhead I gave it 5 stars, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna give The Toll 5 stars. It's just, for me, it's an all-around 5-star series. And then coming in at number 2, I actually had a difficult time whether I was gonna put this at number 1 or number 2, and I actually do not have a physical copy of this book. Coming in at number 2 is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have read 3 full novels and 1 short story by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I absolutely have loved every single one of her stories. However, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is my favorite, and it is the first book that I've read by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book got a lot of hype on BookTube, and to be honest, I read this book primarily because of the hype and also because of my good friend Desiree from Librelabra. She loved this book. She read it because of the hype. She loved this book and she convinced me to read it, and I was also already interested in reading the book because everyone was talking about it, and I love this book so much. So this is an adult novel, and it follows the story of Evelyn Hugo. She is being interviewed by a reporter who is doing a life piece on Evelyn Hugo. Evelyn Hugo is this really famous actress, and she's also famous for having 7 husbands. So she's kind of telling her story of being an actress and also how she managed to get married 7 times. It's an amazing story. If you have not read it, I would so highly recommend it because it's so good. In my opinion, it is Taylor Jenkins Reid's best book that she's written. But again, I've only read 3 of her novels, and I've read another short story by her. But this one is amazing. You don't expect it to be as good as it is by the synopsis, but it really is. There's so many twists and turns, and you really come to connect with Evelyn Hugo. And finally, coming in at number 1, this was my favorite book that I read in 2019, and it's a highly underappreciated book. It's a highly underhyped book, and I can't believe that more people aren't talking about this book and more people aren't reading this book because it honestly, in my opinion, it deserves all of the hype it can get. And the book is Descendant of the Crane by Joan He. So this is a novel based on Chinese fantasy, and it follows a girl. She's the daughter of the emperor, and the emperor dies, and so she's preparing to become the empress. She's next in line for the throne. However, she believes that her father, who everybody else believes died from natural causes, she believes he died from mysterious circumstances, that he did not die from natural causes. So she's trying to investigate that while at the same time watching her back, because in this book you can trust no one. This book really plays on your trust abilities and it just messes with you. I took this book to BookCon. It was my first time going to BookCon in 2019, and Joan-hee was there and she signed my book and she wrote at the top, "Trust no one," because that's honestly the premise of the book. And it's so good and it's so underhyped. And the sad thing is about this book, and I've talked about it before on my channel, is that Joan-hee was only contracted by the publishing company to write one book. But the way she wrote this book, while it did tie up some loose ends, it also left a lot of questions open, and I hope that someday she can write more books in this series because it is so good. This book left so many unanswered questions, and I need the sequel. I desperately need the sequel because it is not fair how this book ended. Go read this book because it is amazing. And there you go, guys. That was my favorite books of the year 2019. Again, all of these books made their way into some of my favorite books of all time, especially Descendant of the Crane and Evelyn Hugo, because they were just fantastic. I actually feel like rereading these books again, so I might reread these books again this year, but they were fantastic. Let me know down in the comments below what was your favorite book of the year 2019, because I would really love to know what book really set itself apart from the rest of your reading for the year 2019. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads if you like to follow me on those platforms. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day, guys, and keep reading. Bye!